Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about the infamous Greninjas that are selling in a PSA 10 for close to $2,000 Canadian. Now in this video I'm going to talk about maybe why that is and the quality control of these cards, because we're going to look at some PSA pop numbers and see why this may be the case. It's still a crazy amount to pay for this card in a 10, but when you look at the numbers and break it down, this is actually a very, very hard card to grade. Okay, I'm gonna start by showing the recent sales of this card. Consistently over $1,000 Canadian. There was one sale for $2,700 down here. Longer ago, this card was selling for $500, which is a fair price. I would never pay this amount, but that had me look at the actual PSA pop report and see that there's only 1,900 of these in a 10. 1,600 of these have been graded with PSA, which means 11% of these graded are a 10 with PSA out of 16,302. And now if we look at a card that came out just a few months earlier in 2021, the Moonbryon, not the Moonbryon, that's the Moonbryon. This card has been graded almost 24,000 times with PSA. 1,235 of those came back as a 10. 72% of these are graded a 10 with PSA. And we're only going to look at PSA right now. I know there's more copies with Beckett, but we're going to look at PSA. That is a large difference. Sure, you could say this card's been graded more, but we're going to look at this card now. The Rayquaza, also in Evolving Skies, came out a few months before the Greninja, and this card's been graded 1,600 times, very similar to the Greninja, and there are 11,610 of these as a 10, which is similar to the Umbreon. 71% of these graded with PSA are a 10. And so I'm going to show here why these cards have been graded so low over their span. Like, this card is a difficult card to grade. I own 3 of these, and I took a look at all 3 of my copies to see, if there's a possibility of them getting a 10. And the quality control of these cards is terrible. They have print lines, deep scratches, everything, which I'm going to show right here. So this is what I mean by the quality control on these cards. That deep scratch on the right side. All the print lines, they're a lot more visible in person. I mean, it doesn't help that it has this plastic around it, but 2 of my copies have that. See that one there on the right side, right by his hand here? A deep scratch. And it runs all the way down. Print lines on this side, and it's not the plastic, or that might be the plastic. But this deep scratch is not the plastic that's on the card. To conclude, I don't think this card is worth this much. There's still a lot of these out there. Like, you got to be careful with modern. It's not vintage anymore. They're printing Pokemon into oblivion, and they started doing that around this time, 2021. Like, Evolving Skies was printed so heavily. Looking at the numbers here, like, these are not rare cards to find in the wild on the market. They're hard to pull from the sets, but there are still many of these cards out there, so just be careful. Don't overpay for modern stuff. Let time go on. What's happening with the Greninja right now, I don't believe to be legit. I feel like people are pumping this card because maybe they did the same thing and looked at these numbers and said, oh wow, there's a 11% chance the Greninja will grade a 10, so let's buy up all the 10s and sell them at a higher cost. No guarantees that's what's been done, but just a fun video to analyze these numbers and actually try and get an understanding of why these prices are occurring. So that's it. Thanks for watching.